Hey there, it's Monique from NowYou'reCooking.ca, and I'll be showing you how to make Jamaican Easter spice bun. Traditionally served around Easter time, this sweet bun is studded with fruits, lightly spiced with hints of cinnamon and nutmeg, and often served with cheese. This spice bun is a descendant of the British hot cross bun. Now it's baked with molasses, flavored with stout, and has morphed from the traditional round shape into a loaf. Here's what you'll need. A good stout like Dragon Stout or Guinness. Raisins. Here I used a combination of dark golden as well as dried cranberries. Glacé cherries. Mixed peel. All-purpose flour. A large egg. Cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, and salt. Honey. Some jam, jelly, or marmalade. Baking powder. Brown sugar. Unsalted butter. And molasses, browning, and vanilla. Or is that browning, vanilla, and molasses? Vanilla, molasses, and browning? Anyways, the exact measurements can be found on my website. The first thing you'll want to do is heat up your liquid ingredients so that they cool down a bit before you add it to everything else. Add the stout, butter, sugar, jam, honey, molasses, and browning to the saucepan and simmer on low to medium heat until the butter is melted and the sugar is dissolved. Remove from heat and let it get to room temperature. This should take about 15 minutes. While that's cooling, you'll want to make sure that your dried fruit is all hydrated and softened up. You could do this with water, fruit juice, or a little bit of diluted red label wine like I did here. Better yet, you could use your ready-made rum-soaked fruit mix that you might have stored away after following my other video recipe for black cake. It's best to soak the raisins for at least a few hours or overnight, but I didn't have any problem soaking them for 30 minutes before I added them to the recipe. Now, I not like too much mixed peeling in my bun, but I found that if I soak this as well and use it just as a topping, it gives the bun a nice texture. The glacé cherries don't need to be hydrated, but if you're using them inside the bun, just chop them up into smaller pieces. I kept about 12 of them whole just to decorate the top of the bun before putting it in the oven. While you wait for the raisins to soak and your stout mix to cool down, you could butter your pans. Here I use two 8.5 by 4.5 inch loaf pans. After they are liberally greased, you'll also want to line it with parchment paper. When using rectangle pans, I always like to leave a bit of parchment paper hanging off two ends. I find it makes removing your baked goods a lot easier. I double it up since I'm using two pans and fold the paper in half. Half the width of my pan is 2.25 inch, so that's what I cut. When I unfold it, it's the right size, more or less. The length doesn't really matter because it's going to overhang the pan anyways. Be sure to press it into those buttered corners. It's a good idea to sift your flour for this particular recipe in order to keep the batter from clumping up, since you'll be mixing it by hand. When you sift it with other dry ingredients like your baking powder, cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, and salt, it also helps combine them more evenly. Use a whisk and make sure that everything is mixed well. By this time, the raisins should be soaked enough. Drain off the excess water and add them to your dry ingredients. One of the reasons I like doing it this way is that it helps prevent the dried fruit from sinking in the batter, especially if your batter isn't thick enough to hold up the extra weight. It's a good trick to keep in mind if you're making something like blueberry muffins when the sinking often happens. Don't forget to add in your glacé cherries. Make a well in the center of your dry ingredients and set it aside while you finish off the stout mixture. Now that our wet ingredients have cooled down a bit, we can prepare to add the egg. You don't want to add it directly to your hot mixture or it will curdle. If you want, you could take out the eye or calaza from the egg. It's a common thing to do in many Caribbean kitchens. The calaza holds the egg yolk in place when it's in the shell. It's harmless to eat and it cooks off once everything's baked anyways. I also like adding the vanilla extract in at this point because I don't want too much of the flavor to burn off, as it probably would if I put this in with the stout at the beginning of the recipe. Slowly add in your liquid mixture to the dry ingredients and fold to combine. Be sure to scrape down the sides. I really should have been using a rubber spatula for this, so well. If you find the batter is too thin or runny, feel free to add a bit more flour. The final consistency should be like this. Once everything is combined well, you could pour it into your prepared pans. Make sure that they're both even and that you have at least an inch left at the top for when they rise. Not everyone likes mixed peel because it could taste a bit hard, but if you soaked it like I did, it'll taste good and decorate the tops nicely, along with the whole cherries. And into a 300° Fahrenheit oven it goes for about an hour. While that's baking, you could prepare the glaze. There are several ways to do this. Some people use a mix of honey and water, others add in jelly and melted butter. Just do what works for you. I used about 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of water, and a tablespoon of this mixed fruit jam I found at the grocery store that has mangoes and papaya in it. Yummy! This does need to thicken up, so you could heat it on medium until it does, about 5 minutes or so. Let's check on those buns. Looks good to me. You could do the skewer or knife test to make sure that the inside is baked well. If it comes out clean with no liquid batter stuck to it, you're good to go. Grab that glaze and brush it all over the top of your hot buns. The glaze is optional, but it makes your spice buns taste so much better. Now you'll see here what I was talking about when it came to the extra long parchment paper. If you greased your pan well, you could just pull up the buns out of the pan and not have to worry about turning it upside down onto another plate. Let these cool on a rack for at least a couple hours before slicing it. If you're not going to eat the spice bun right away, you could tightly wrap it in plastic wrap and keep it at room temperature for about 3 days. Otherwise, store it in the fridge for up to a week. I've tried a lot of different brands of Easter bun from the stores, but I must say that this homemade version takes the cake. Although this is a popular treat at any time during the year in Jamaica, Easter just isn't the same without a slice of bun and cheese. Unfortunately, I didn't have any of that yummy processed Jamaican tasty cheese that comes in the tin, but I had some good old marbled cheddar in my fridge. I find Havarti tastes good with this too. Happy Easter, everyone! Thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions or comments about this recipe, you can leave them in the comment section down below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You could also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. As usual, all my recipes are posted at nowyourcooking.ca.